Okay, welcome to my live stream, guys. Welcome to my live stream. Welcome to my gardening live stream, plant live stream, cactus live stream. We have a lot going. It's kind of hard to pick one, you know? And I feel like, why pick one when we can just do whatever we want? Hey, good morning, Pear. Great to see you. How's it going? Did you make it? Did you make it through the heat? We had so much heat in the last week. I hope everything was okay for you. Was one of the hottest weeks that I remember in my life. Hey, Remo, welcome to the live stream. Thank you for being here. I hope you guys are all right and making it through the heat. Over here, we will get colder temperatures starting today. Like, it's already cooled down substantially. Otherwise, I couldn't be sitting here. Like in the past, like the last few days in the greenhouse, it was unbearable. I think we lost quite a few. Different flower buds and fruits, you know, that were on the plants, that were ripening, that we would not have lost if the heat wouldn't have been so bad. It was really extreme. 41 degrees Celsius in one city, and that was the hottest ever recorded here. Absolutely crazy. Yeah, I just wanted to start cleaning this one up here. I have a scissor, and I just want to get rid of the grass. It's not something that will do much, but at the very least, you don't have all that weed in the pot that is also taking away the nutrients. We have to separate them probably. But I want to remove the grass first, and then we're probably repotting them. So yeah, thank you for being in my live stream. We have quite a few different things today. I have coconut fiber that I'm currently soaking in a tub, and we could repot later. I have a plant that I would love to repot maybe. I have a few plants where we need to take cuttings. Then I have this one here where we have to repot the seedlings. A few are healthy, a few are gone. So we have to get rid of those. The classic things that you always have to do. And I'm always happy to take questions if you like. If not, we're just gardening. You know, stress-free gardening in the wilderness. Okay. I have this bee that keeps flying after me. I'm usually pretty tolerant, but it's really overdoing it. And now it flew out. And it flew back in again. This is a yellow jacket, I think. It's not a bee. Okay, so yeah, I just wanted to clean this up. I removed the seedling that was on the other side that didn't survive. Let me see if I can find a label in the pot. Ugh. This is lava. It's not a good medium. We have to repot them. This is a bad medium that they are in. So I will put this aside. Then I wanted to have a look at this one. This is a plant that lost the grafting stock. Check it out. Hey, welcome to the live stream. Thank you for being here. We are still in the cactus office, and I want to clean up a few plants that I have here. In this one, I'm getting rid of the old grafting stock that didn't make it through winter. You have to remove them if you lose the grafting stock, otherwise it will infect the other plant too, the grafted plant, you know? So I'm getting rid of everything from the grafting stock here. And then we can root it again. That gives that thing a new chance at life. Want to see if there's a label? Don't think so. Let's see. Oh, here. Good. So this is a hybrid by Jürgen Theisinger from 2018. We would put that into pumice, I think. Check it out. We could also put it in coconut fiber, but I feel like this is looking like it could become infected. I would get a little pot with pumice, with nothing but washed pumice, and then we are discussing it, okay? So. Okay, so here's the pumice. Check it out. This is just washed pumice, nothing else. A volcanic mineral, and it has a really good pH level for cacti. Pumice is able to store nutrients and make it available to the roots. It can store water and make it available again. That makes it a really good mineral for everything involving cacti. There's some cacti that like a more organic soil, but in general, this is a good medium if you don't know what to use. Just washed pumice, pH level should be 5.5 to 6.5. So you might have to measure the runoff and that kind of thing, so you know how the pH level is. There's some, like, pumice is mined, and in some mines they just have the wrong pH level for growing plants in it. But yeah, a lot of it is good. Like there's a famous kind of pumice mine or something like that in the Eifel in Germany, and that pumice has the right pH level. That has the perfect pH level. So yeah, we will put that out. Okay, with the mineral medium, we will avoid that the base starts rotting. If I would use a organic medium now, there would be a high chance that when I put this thing, look at it, how it looks like. It's already a little bit, you know, I don't want to say sick, but really borderline. And if you put that on a too organic medium, in many cases, it will start to rot. So now with the pumice, that will, like the soil is just below the plant, there's never really enough humidity to start a fungal infection. You know, for spore germination, you don't have the humidity that spore germination would need. So yeah, this will go out. Not in full sun because it doesn't have any roots. But if you put that thing into a shady corner of the garden that gets a little bit of indirect sunlight, that would be perfect. So yeah, and then I hope this will recover. I will fertilize that a little bit more often than I would fertilize another plant because it has a lot to catch up. You can see it's dehydrated, and it's dehydrated because it lost the grafting stock. In winter, like if you graft plants onto each other, you have to make sure that the grafting stock that you use is actually frost hardy enough. And in many cases, the grafting stock gives up first. You know, like if you have the wrong kind of grafting stock, it can happen that you lose the stock first because the stock's constantly wet, it's constantly in the soil, and over winter, little bit of humidity, a little bit of frost, and then you lose them very fast. Okay, yeah, then I wanted to do something here. Check it out. This is a graft that I did, and this is actually I was very happy that I could save this. This was a plant that I had already almost lost. I had one little piece that I grafted, and that piece really took, and now it's growing. You can see here that the graft that I have here, the graft's the thing here, that is growing actively, has nice and healthy growth. Here it has popped, but the grafting stock has popped again. And when that happens, you have to get rid of the pups that came up because they can take away energy from this one here, from the grafted piece where I want the energy to go into, you know. So I will disinfect the tool here. And then we're removing this side pup, and this thing we can actually root. Let me turn it a little lower. Yeah, this thing we can root and we can use as grafting stock again. or you can just grow it out. Sometimes I see quite interesting plants, like when you see that a grafting stock has popped again. Sometimes you see really good growth coming from a grafting stock that, you know, where you didn't know that the grafting stock was this good. And yeah, that happens quite often. When you see something that comes up on the side, gives you a better feeling for the plant. Gives you a feeling if you want to keep it or not, if grafting on it was a bad decision or not. So yeah, I take this off now. Okay. You could have removed that without creating this big of a wound. Check it out here. Here's where the thing was attached, and you could have cut a little deeper. Then if you are getting good at it, you can take them down without causing a big wound or any wound at all. But yeah, in this case, wasn't going like that. But it's not a problem. This is just a grafting stock, so I'm not really worried if we're losing one. I will put that also onto the soil here, onto the mineral soil where I have the other one, and that will, like, the soil will not allow fungal infection to come up. Usually you would take time. Usually when you make any kind of cut, you callus the wound. You would put that thing into the sun. You would expose it to oxygen, to fresh air, a little bit of sunlight on a regular basis, and then the wound is kind of healed, you know. It makes, if you are planting them, and it's something important, then I would always recommend to callus a wound. In this case, like I said, it's a pup that came from a grafting stock. So if this thing doesn't make it, then it's problem. Yeah, just putting this on the soil, on the pumice, in this case, washed pumice and nothing else. You can put them into burning sun because they do not have roots yet. So you have to keep that in mind. Wherever you put them, it has to be somewhere where they do not get sunlight 24, the whole day. So that will go out in the shade. Or in the greenhouse, also possible, but outside I like it a little more because outside you always have morning dew, you always have the rain, then the wind that's blowing, it exposes the plant to more stuff, to just the elements. And yeah, and when you have something in the greenhouse, it's always a little bit shielded, always a little bit protected. And yeah, so ideally this would go out. So then we have these here, and I just wanted to discuss them because we are going to use them as grafting stocks. These have both been pretty disappointing. The flower looked exactly like Dessau, one of the parents that is involved here. Yeah, and I don't need something that looks identical to the mother plant because I already have that, you know. So yeah, we will graft on these. These are Pseudolobivia hybrids. They have a few spots, but they should still be okay to graft a pup here and there. Yeah, so let's put these aside when we're grafting. I would say we're having a look at what's going on in the garden, and then we're doing something here. So the coconut fiber is still soaking. Still soaking, and might still soak maybe half an hour. So I wanted to have a look at these. I watered them yesterday, and at some point we might have to take them apart. You know, they look okay. There's everything okay in between, but when you have them so close, that's pretty close. You see, there's some in between where we don't get, where the light doesn't get. That's not so good. Maybe I should take these apart at some point. I like to have one big pot, you know, like with Arboricola hybrids, but this is a little excessive, especially for the ones in center. The other ones are okay, you know, like these do not look like they need anything. These here, they are a little smaller. You can really see where the main water goes in the pot. So yeah, and these are misplant hybrids from a cross between Sörensia arboricola and Trichocereus grandiflorus. Lobivia grandiflora. Let me see what we have here. Claw pollination took, and it's no surprise. Then I have one of them is with Deserticola, so that one took. This one failed, unfortunately. Let me see what we have here. This is Autenried 36. This one here pollinated with a Sörensia telegonoides hybrid with huge flowers. I really want to try to increase the flower size of these arboricola hybrids. So far, the maximum flower diameter was something like 17 centimeters with them. Arboricola, it has very specific kind of dimensions, and it could be that if you have the arboricola body, it might not be able to get, like, at a certain point the flower size might be capped. But we will see. I've just seen one hybrid from a cross of mine with arboricola, and it's having the same kind of arboricola flower again. Like, you can often see arboricola has a smaller kind of flower, relatively short flower when it starts off, and I can see that on that other hybrid too. And I fear that the diameter will once again be 16, 17 centimeters. Okay, yeah, let's have a look what's going on. It has rained, and I'm so thankful that it rained. It was like the last week was extreme. We had absolutely unbearable temperature, like 41 degrees Celsius. And yeah, yesterday with 35, it felt like, oh, it's finally cooling down, and it was still 35, you know. Yeah, these are a cultivar called Ciliega picante. And I wanted to show that they're changing the color now here a little bit. Check it out. I'm not sure how long they ripen, but I'm quite happy with this. Looks unique, and they don't seem to be very spicy though. From the really spicy ones, I only have a few plants of the Carolina Reaper, and that one's over there. And by the way, check out how nice it has grown since we repotted it. This is a plant that I repotted into pumice just recently. And look at the new healthy growth. I'm really quite pleased with this one. Like, this was a small plant just a couple or maybe 3 weeks ago. This was relatively small. I'm sure they could be even bigger if we had repotted them the way you usually do it. Yeah, thank you. I will wait. Do you know how it is with the Carolina Reaper? I think the cultivar name is chocolate, so it might actually turn brownish. Yeah, it was Carolina Reaper chocolate. I have no idea how they got to that label. You know, it might be like either something is Carolina Reaper or it's not Carolina Reaper. You know what I mean? Like, I would think that that famous cultivar has only one flower color, but maybe it's a hybrid. You know, I don't know. I don't care. Yeah, these have taken quite long, and I'm so happy that they're coming up. I'm also scared, you know, because I was so foolish that I talked about actually trying them, and yeah, that might actually have to happen. And then when I recently tried the habaneros, they were so spicy, and people, like, I think Remo was it who said that in comparison, the Carolina Reapers are even worse, like much worse, and that really worries me a little. Yeah, and this one here, check this one out. This is the variegated one. Look how long it has grown suddenly. Also, since I put it into a bigger pot, this has really, I don't know, felt like growing tall. And variegation, yeah, it's still there. Maybe a little bit less dominant, but it's still there. This is one of my favorite plants, and it might be completely sick, you know, like with the variegation. When I look at it, this could be virus. At least that's how I look at it, you know. I haven't read anything about viruses in peppers and in chili, but when I see like variegation, I instantly think either genetic defect or maybe even virus. And yeah, thank you. Yeah, this is the one. No, this is Ciliega picante, and this one here is Charapita red. Charapita red must be some sort of a Peruvian dwarf pepper or something like that. Dwarf chili. I haven't seen it, but we will try. I don't think it has anything bigger yet, like any bigger fruit or something like that. The one thing that I find funny is, you know, if it's really like the description that I read about this one was dwarf pepper, you know, but it's one of the tallest that I have, you know, so I'm sure they meant the fruit, like the chili. Okay, I wanted to show you something nice. Check this out. So this is the hybrid that I showed at the beginning of the season. What was the name? Madame Pompadour. Madame Pompadour Sörensia telegona hybrid. You see how nice it lies there. This is my experience with Sörensia telegona. It is a species that is amazing and annoying at the same time. Both at the same time. The flowers often look insanely beautiful, but the body, like this crooked body, this is really hard to deal with, because also if you put that thing in a hanging basket pot, like it's pulling down with a lot of weight. That is really, you really have to anchor that thing down in a hanging basket pot like crazy. Otherwise, this thing will go down. And I'm not sure what to do with it. Teleflora hybrid, I think. Teleflora hybrid, I'm not sure who the breeder is. I've seen it, I've seen Eberhard Kahler have one plant as Teleflora that looked like this, that had this particular flower. So it could be the same plant. Yeah, and I got this plant on eBay. Had a little pup that was variegated when I got it. You can still see some of the variegation. And yeah, to me, it like the variegation is really worrying me. Like, I'm not seeing variegation necessarily as a good thing. It often tells you about genetic problems, about having in this case, the parents involved are Sörensia telegona and Echinopsis irisi grandiflora. And that means you have an intergeneric hybrid there, having two different parents. And that can already be the reason for the variegation. Can also be that something isn't right here, you know. I would definitely not graft on it. I would definitely not use it for grafting. If I propagate this plant, I will do it without grafting. So then I wanted to have a look here. This one I'm propagating. It's also interesting hybrid. Thank you with the Charapita. That's good to know. I mean, I like it as a plant. You know, if the fruit is too tiny to eat, it's not a problem. I just like to grow them. Yeah. So these here, I've taken cuttings like this week, and I consider taking more. There are a few more, and this thing will pop again if we remove something, you know. There are many plants that would constantly pop if the pups are removed. So yeah, we will probably do it here, because I like this kind of body, and we can really use that. If I can breed that into something else, like into something with a good flower maybe, or maybe into a columnar cactus, this kind of spine, that's really nice. By the way, here, see these? These are hybrids by Miss Plant, involving Sörensia telegona too. So you get quite a range. This one here, telegona hybrid. This one here too. Some of the crosses come out in more stable than others. There's an interesting range with them. And personally, I haven't seen a hybrid with telegona that didn't have an interesting body. For me, they really look amazing. Yeah, okay. So let me show you the Echinopsis glauca. Oh, I have problems with my leg. Oh, by the way, check this out. Pumpkin's really taking over. Do you think I should be concerned with this? I mean, people have talked about the pumpkin and that they can take over a garden. I'm starting to think there might be something on it, you know? But the bees love it. I fertilized it a few days ago. It had, see this here? This could be nutrient deficiency. So I fertilized and now it's coming out with better color again. But we might have to fertilize again because this thing is so big, grows so fast that I feel like it might be using up nutrients like crazy. I've seen a documentary on people who grow like record big vegetables, like pumpkin to the size of as big as possible, you know? There are people that are specialized in growing these huge kind of vegetables. And someone had grown a pumpkin and that thing had needed so much water to get that huge size. So like the way I see it, you could be putting them like in hydro, you could be giving them water all day long and they would just take it. They would just be getting bigger and bigger. And that is something that I will like when we're getting the pumpkin, when that thing's actually growing the pumpkin, then we're really trying to give it a lot of water because I want a big pumpkin for Halloween that we can then carve on the live stream. That would be so nice. Hey, welcome to the live stream. Thank you for being here. We've just discussed the wall of pumpkin. I'm not sure if I should be concerned or not. That thing is growing so aggressively in the last couple of weeks. Gotta keep a close eye on this thing. Otherwise, I will have pumpkin until the end of time. Yeah, I wanted to show you these. I wanted to show you the difference in regards to the color here. This has to do with the fertilizer. This had a nutrient deficiency, then it was fertilized. And now, yeah, they are a little bit too dark, I feel. We'll see. I hope that long term this will have the right amount of nutrients. This one is also charapita. No, not charapita. This is Ciliega picante, I believe. Same weird kind of chili here. Okay, let me show you the Echinopsis glauca. That thing is still flowering a little bit. There it is. And we got quite a lot of rain tonight, got a little rained on. And this species has something like when it's fading out, like the fading of the petals and the sepals looks really interesting on this species. Like it has this brownish discoloration that it gets that I haven't seen on all species, you know? That could be unique to it. This one's opening later tonight. Haven't decided what we will use, but something good, hopefully. And then I wanted to have a look here. Oh, this is looking good. This is not bad. Not bad, actually. So we might be getting seeds. We might be getting seeds. Scopulicola is almost reaching the roof. Might have to do something there. Maybe I can wait until next year. But this is getting close to the roof this season. This one doesn't look good. It's still on, but I feel like this is just related to the heat. Sometimes when it's really, really hot, the plant fails to drop the fruit, and I can't tell you why. They then look like they are pollinated, and if you do not remove them, they will stay on for a very long time, like sometimes even until the next year. Yeah, not sure what we will do here. I will keep an eye on it for another few days. If it doesn't come off, we will take it off, because otherwise you have that organic thing here hanging all the time that doesn't go away. Okay. Yeah, and with the pollination here, I have no clue what we will use. I have no clue. Inside the house, I have that one hybrid open where I'm filming the time lapse right now. And that one has whitish, yellowish kind of flowers. It could be useful here, it could be good. But I don't know. Like you don't have so many chances to pollinate this. I would love to have the right kind of pollen donor for this. And so far I haven't seen it. Yeah, okay. Yesterday evening I recorded a video to show these. Look how they have recovered again. Everything was completely dry yesterday. I was even worried about the rhododendron that I have, and I have it for quite some time. It's been around for a while. Okay, so let's see what we will do. I want to have a look here. This is still not flowering. But this could still come. I have moved these out a little late, and just because they were too heavy. Like, this is a pretty dangerous plant, pretty hard to move it. Here, it almost terminated. But it made it. Yeah, but no flowering. I have the plant, like the same clone, over here. And this is flowering. Consider to do time lapse with it again this year. I did one last year and it looked really nice. This is one of the plants that I want to repot. This will come into a big pot. I want to plant that in the center of the greenhouse. And yeah. So in the next days we have to take it out of the pot. I would say we have a look at the coconut fiber. Want to see how far it is. Yeah, usually you would soak it much longer than this. Yeah, but this is okay for now. I mean, you can start. What's that? Yeah, okay. Apparently it comes in bigger bags with something like this and this kind of material. Probably when they are buying the coconut fiber, you know. But yeah, no problem. This is nothing. So yeah, we will use that as the medium in the next couple months. I want to repot quite a few. So yeah, I'll put the camera on the tripod and then maybe we're repotting something. Or we're taking cuttings. This plant here, I want to get out of the medium. I have seen, this is a Lobivia winteriana and it's quite big, unusually big. And I don't like how the base looks, you know, this is not good. So this needs to come into a better medium. Maybe something even more organic, because I felt like it was too dry all the time, you know. Sometimes you have a plant that doesn't doesn't like to have perfect drainage. This is a Peruvian species, and in Peru the weather is a little bit different than it is in like Bolivia, and so I consider giving this a more organic medium. This is mostly pumice, and it didn't seem to like it. Yeah, then I have something bad to report. This is what's left of the radishes. I'm quite unhappy about that. Yeah, I want to use it. We are potting it up in the next days, trying it out. We'll see how the plants will respond. As a medium, it's not bad. I think this is also coconut, by the way. I mean, it's not a good omen, but yeah, this is also coconut. Can be a good medium, but you have to put in a lot of nutrients. It's basically a empty medium. Everything that the plants need, you must put in. Okay. Yeah, so I want to repot these, and yeah, we will try to use the coconut fiber. Want to fill up a pot, and then we will transplant them from one medium into the other. So yeah, we'll put the camera here, and then I will get me a little pot with coconut fiber. We could also use like pumice again. Pumice is also a good medium, for these. But yeah, I want to give it a little more organic medium. We are going with the coconut fiber here. Give me a second, and then we will repot them. Okay, I'm back, and I have the pumice. The coconut fiber. I brought 3 containers full of coconut fiber now, and yeah, let's try it out. Let's experiment with it. If it's not working, then we can always change the medium. You can always go with pumice again. So let me move this out here. Need a little space for the roots. Okay. This comes out. This comes out. The others come on top later. So I will pot them pretty deep into the coconut fiber. They can't be in the rain all the time. This is a medium that I use because we have such hot summers now that sometimes the plants are dehydrating too much. I have used it for a few Sansevieria, but I have at least added some perlite to it. Yeah, I mean you can. I don't use perlite. I don't need it. Like I mean, perlite is you can add it to a soil, and I'm sure it will improve the drainage. It holds a little water, but just very little. I don't like how perlite always comes out of the pots and is always distributed durch the garden, through the garden. Yeah, so I'm not really, like, in general, I try not to work too much with mineral medium. If I can replace mineral medium with something organic, then I will. But there are certain things where you need it. And in those cases, I use pumice. Washed pumice, like what you see here. Washed pumice is a much better medium compared to perlite. You know, like perlite is only useful as an add-on that you put into the soil to kind of improve the drainage or improve the soil a little bit. It's not something that I would use as a pure medium. So yeah, the pumice is actually great. The pumice is what I use for everything that needs better drainage. Like in this case here, this is also just washed pumice. It's also very, very mineral kind of medium. Yeah, the thing that really bothers me is that it comes loose all the time. Like with the perlite, you always have it in the garden. And it's not a huge deal, but it just adds up when you work around it all day long. Like with the mineral stuff, the longer you work with it on a regular basis, the more fibers you are going to inhale, you know, that kind of thing. Always trying to keep that a little bit low and work with organics wherever I can. And in some areas you can't work with organics. You can do it sometimes and sometimes not. Like in the future, I will definitely have to grow the lobivia in just pumice, like the medium here, you know, just classic pumice. That is much better, much safer for certain cacti, but not all. Okay. Yeah, we would see. These had looked too dehydrated, so maybe we can save them. The little ones here, the bigger ones, they are okay. They will make it no matter what. But the smaller ones, in the coconut fiber, it will not take so long. Like when I have a plant that I want to hydrate, where a plant is really looking bad, I usually put it in coconut fiber. I've seen some really good glow ups when I moved something into coconut, especially when it's coming out of a mineral medium that's super fast draining. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. Like in last winter, I have used a different medium. Last winter, we have used a soil called graveyard soil, like stuff that is made for the graveyard, this kind of black soil that they have on display, because it's so the weeds have it harder to overgrow that kind of a soil. It's so thick, a lot of root bark, actual root bark in the soil, and we have tried that last year, and it was surprisingly good. Like in comparison, the plants where it went well, they looked really good. There were one or two that didn't make it through the winter in that medium, but it was surprisingly good. I'm becoming more and more a fan of growing with a more organic medium. Okay. So this one here, I wanted to have a look. Need to clean this up here. Let's see what we have here. Okay. Yeah, these need a bigger pot. And we might single them out, actually. We need to start singling out some of the good ones to give them a better chance. If you leave plants together, then eventually they will single themselves out, and then you have no control over what's singled out. But if you do it yourself, you can at least decide to focus on the good ones. Okay. Yeah, then I wanted to start propagating this one. This is a plant called Lobivia cecheri, and I want to take off some of the side pups. I want to get the plant to pop again. The side pups look a little bit troubled. Plant has gotten a little frost maybe over winter. And propagating it is important now. Here's one of the pups. I will take the others down too. And then hopefully this thing will pop again. And will pop with healthy pups, you know? This one comes off. This one here maybe. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, and these will now be rooted. We'll try to root them. We could use mineral. We could use pumice for them, and I think that's what we will do. I will put each into a separate pot. So I will get me maybe 5 different pots, smaller pots, and we will put them like separate into every pot with mineral medium, with pumice. Okay, so here's one. Check it out. Let me turn this around so you can see it. This is just washed pumice, nothing else. And this would be a good medium. Let me turn it around here. This would be a good medium to grow out these discolorations. This doesn't look good and needs a perfect drainage. Otherwise, this will turn into a fungal nightmare. So this is how they will be. Getting a lot of sun, but they need to also get a lot of rain. And then maybe we can get some of them through. These here we will use. Let's see. Need 2 more. And then we will put them to a good spot. This is the rest of the pumice that I have, and I need new one. This is washed already. Isn't so dusty, you know. This is really good if you want to avoid inhaling the mineral dust all the time. That is something that I'm really aware of, where I'm really trying to avoid it. My grandfather passed away with, like, I don't know, 53 or something like that, from lung cancer. And yeah, guy had a different life, but still, I don't seem to have the good genetics, you know, where you can do what you want. So yeah, this gets in here. This gets in here. Okay, yeah, and then I hope that they will root until the end of the season. Let's put them out here. Let's move them out somewhere. When it's raining, can rain a little on them. Just a little bit. Yeah, maybe we're filling a bigger one too. Yeah, and then I have to order new pumice sometime soon. I actually didn't want to order it anymore. But without it, like there's some situations where it's just a super safe medium for rooting for seedlings, especially in winter. If you have little seedlings and you worry about getting them through winter, it greatly increases their chances if you have them in pumice, in a mineral medium. It's just something that when it gets wet, it behaves a little better than the other stuff. If you have something like with coconut fiber, we will see how that one will come out. Okay. So these will come out. Gotta be careful with the sun though. Like, depending on how strong the sun will get in the next days, maybe we have to move them again. And this is Lubivia zecheri. I have promised a friend to propagate it, and the plant also needs to be propagated. We could repot it. You know what? That's a good idea. We're repotting it now, because this thing I would love to see in a better pot, in a bigger pot and all. So let me see if we have something. Yeah, this one here maybe. Let me see. Yeah, that's okay for the bottom drainage. Oh man, I'm not sure if I should even repot that into coconut fiber, like the plant of this size, but that's a lot of my pumice that I would be using up. Maybe I'm mixing it 50-50 with the coconut fiber. I don't know. I'm worried that that just coconut fiber might be a little bit too organic for it. We'll see. I like the plant looked bad in a mineral medium too, you know, so we're trying something new here. Hey, good morning, Robert. Great to see you. How is it going? Hope life is treating you well, and also everyone else here. Thank you for being here. It was a bird. Okay, yeah, this coconut fiber. And I considered to pot that Lubivia into it, but I'm not sure if that is a good idea. It could be the worst idea I ever had, you know? Like sometimes you repot a plant into organic medium because you think it needs it and you are doing exactly the wrong thing. But yeah, I don't have so much mineral medium anymore that I can fill the whole thing with it. I need it right now. I need it for the smaller ones that will not make it otherwise. The bigger plant here, maybe we can repot it again if things don't work out. So this is where we're going to put it in. Let's get a glove. I want to put water over the pot to water the root stock, so we can so it doesn't dust when we're breaking it apart. Who knows what's in there? Some people are using like all kinds of minerals. So let's water this a little bit. Okay. And then we're taking it apart, taking it out of the pot, removing any kind of like roots that are unhealthy. Everything that doesn't look normal will come out now. So let me see if I can put that on, because you never know what kind of a pesticide is in the soil. Like 20 or 30 years ago, people have used the wildest pesticides. Make it a little bit more water. It's still dry. I really put water on everything when I work with minerals. That makes it a little easier for one. And also, you keep your exposure levels low. This was such a bad... You see how the roots look? This was that one medium that was so bad. This had lava in it. There you see it. Lava is such a bad medium. Every plant that I had used with the lava had sick-looking roots. No surprise. Absolutely no surprise that this is the medium, you know? Good that we're taking it off. Okay, and that explains why the plant has these kind of skin problems, you know? So it needs to be deeper in the pot here. So, and right now I consider to repot if I feel like this is too organic. Very likely that I might have to repot. Right now I want it to be in a different medium. It doesn't matter which one, just out of the old one, out of the lava. I hate lava. I really like, for one, you know, it's as a person, as a human, it's generally a good idea to stay away from lava. And also for cacti, it's just so sharp. Like the structure of the mineral is so sharp that it always causes micro injuries on the roots. And yeah, you can see that reflected in the plant right now. So at least it's out of the old medium. This will go full sun. I have propagation pieces in mineral medium. So I'm not so worried. Even if we lose the main plant, we still have a few going. Yeah, and that's good because this might not make it, you know. And yeah, this goes full sun now, like in the greenhouse. Full sun, top shelf. And then because of the skin problems, if you put that into humidity, the skin problems will become worse. It's like an invitation for mold. When you already have this kind of a setup, you have to really give it full sun. Under no circumstances you can have fungal germination, that kind of stuff. So yeah, putting this somewhere here. Later I will clear a part of the shelf here. And then this goes here really full sun. No, it's not. This is not going to work. Sometimes you have to wait until it's okay. Yeah. Check out Amun-Re, by the way. We're going to have a flower very soon. Yeah, and we will repot a few more plants. Let me have a look. I wanted to show you the plant that we're repotting. Also with lava. Like the stuff that we're repotting is all lava. For one, it's a bad medium, and also the next one has a much too small pot. Oh. Look at this. This will go into the trash. I don't even want it. I don't want to reuse it, you know. This goes straight into the trash because as a medium, it has completely failed. Either there was something in it, like a toxin that attacked the roots, or the medium was just too hard on the roots in general. Like pH level could have been that the pH level was wrong. Regardless what it is, this goes away now. So let's put that in here. Yeah. I can only recommend to always get pumice if you have the choice between lava and pumice. Good. Okay. So I wanted to show you these, by the way. Let's talk it through here. Oh yeah, you told us about the lake. Hope it was nice. Hope you liked it. I wanted to show you these because originally these had taken, but now it seems like the extreme heat has led to the plant dropping the fruit, you know. These are still on, but also give me a weird color. They look a little bit too bright, a little bit too dehydrated. This one has failed and looked quite good. These two have taken. Yeah. And I've been watering them all the time. They've been getting water few times in the week, just to make sure that they don't drop the flower buds and fruit later. Yeah, okay. So let's see what we do, okay? I want to repot this plant here in the next days. There you see it. This one here has a tiny pot, and we will put that in a bigger pot, and it will go into a really big pot. This has been a plant that I wanted to repot for a while. And it's also almost exclusively lava. Hey, good morning. Welcome to the live stream. I'm sorry to hear, Robert, about the heat. Over here, we have just made it through the worst. Unfortunately, it's going to become hot again, like next week or something like that. Yeah, with this thing, we are going to repot, and we will do it in a video. I will move this thing out. This from the fertilizer, I think. Yeah, this will go, we will move it out, then we take it out of the pot, then we get rid of all the lava, really every little piece of lava. And then, yeah, then we give it a new soil. This will go into coconut fiber. This will go into 100% coconut fiber, and I'm sure it will love it. This is the kind of plant that really has loved coconut fiber in my collection. Like when I used it to hydrate something that was really dehydrated. Like when they have these, you know, they love a little bit more humidity than other types of cacti. These columnar cacti here, you know, they have quite a lot of humidity in their original habitat. Yeah, and once that thing is in pumice, once that thing is in the coconut fiber, it will be beautiful. Then I wanted to remove something here. Give me a second, okay? I need to get rid of the glove. I hate it. It's wet in the glove. I wanted to take off this pup. Also wanted to do a little bit of cutting here. Because I wanted to get rid of this. Because it's taking away nutrients from the graft. Okay, good. Okay. Yeah, we will root it separately. It's a nice plant. I'm not sure what kind of type it is, but it looks interesting. We will grow it out to use as a grafting stock probably. I want to cut a little bit of the oxalis here too. Kind of difficult to rip it out there. Oh, look at this. There's another one that's come up. Grafting stock is popping too much. That's not good. We need to take that one away too. I think we're taking it out. Okay, give me a second. I need my grabber tool, and then we're taking it out so I can get rid of the other pup that is coming out of it. The Isla del Sol, it's a nice one, right? So, maybe I will show you it again later. Just want to get this one here. I don't know. If I pull on the cyan, it will come loose. If I pull on the other plant here, it will come out also. Move this. This is Imperialis. Hybrid between Sorensia telegona and Echinopsis irisi grandiflora. Oh yeah, now this is good. Come on. Okay. There you go. This is a hybrid called Spirit of Fulda, and it should be flowering much more. Oh, I have trouble with the muscle. I need to put it down. I can't hold it like this. Okay, so I wanted to have a look at it. The plant has a super nice flower. Little bit like Bamboy, like a little bit, you know? Nice color, big one. And body is a little bit different, not the classic Wörlitz Cantora. A little bit different. Yeah, but my graft here has grown nicely until it started to pop like crazy. And we will have to take this one off too. Otherwise, it will not continue to put energy into this thing. It will continue to let these grow. Yeah, and we can't have that. That would be a waste. So let's take this off. Okay. Gotta be careful, it's falling. Okay. Taken too much, but it's not a problem. I just wanted to get it off so it stops putting the energy into it. If you would have wanted to do this right, you would have taken off this piece too, but you would have had to cut deep into the soil, straight downwards. And with how crooked this thing is, I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to risk getting it loose. But yeah, also another plant you can reroot, you can graft on. Looks a little bit messed up here, but I think it was from winter. Could have gotten a little bit of frost, and when you get frost damage, it burns the skin like sunburn. But it's okay. So this will be rooted separately. Just has to be dry now because you have a wound. We'll keep it dry for maybe a couple of weeks, and then I'll root it or not. We will see. Yeah, now it can flower again. We will leave it out. We have 2 wounds now. That is a risk factor if you bring it out. This one here, you know, and let's clean this one a little bit off, a little bit up. Just having the wound a little bit less blunt. There was a little bit blunt trauma. Okay, yeah, and now we can put that thing either in a greenhouse or outside. When you put it outside with a wound like this, you would usually recommend not to do that, not to move it out. Yeah, but with the heat that we have, I consider to do it, to put it out. We will see how the temperature will be in the next couple weeks. But we had such incredible heat. It might actually let that thing callus even outside. That's great. That's great. Yeah, I'm sure Rick has some amazing plans. I've seen some good stuff from him. So, okay. Let's put it here. I wanted to have a look at this. Yeah, this is claw. Trying to root it. I think we're putting it in a mineral medium. But on the other hand, it's a pretty strong growing plant. This one had a little bit of frost damage too. You can still see it, so I'm not sure how we are doing it. What's the best approach here? I can leave it on the coconut fiber, and on the coconut fiber, this thing would hydrate faster. But on the coconut fiber, you also have a higher risk for root rot that is happening when the wound isn't calloused properly. So I just have to trust that I did the callousing right, and let it sit here. I consider moving it in though. Like if this looks a little bit weird at one point, we are taking it in. And so this one, with the wound, having it out is a risk factor, and you always have to have that on your radar. If you put something out like this, the wound is on the grafting stock, you know. So if something would happen, like if you would get an infection at the stock, you could still take down the main graft, you know. And you could still react. You could take out ribs here. You very often, when you have an infection, you can fix it. You could move the plant inside and just remove whatever has come up. But yeah, it's an entry door. You have to be careful. Good. Okay. Yeah. So what else? I wanted to have a look here. These are the passion fruit. Something has eaten a hole in it, but it might still be okay. I'm a little worried about them though. Like when they already start having these kind of tiny holes, seems like the slugs or something might eat them here. I don't know, but it's nice to have them outside, you know, like in the rain. I had them in the greenhouse and I felt like they were just not looking so good. Yeah, this is a very sad case here. This is the dill. And I'm sure it isn't supposed to look like that. So I kind of failed with the dill a little bit. It was just too hot. The dill couldn't handle it. I had it in the water and it was completely like drying up. couldn't do anything. I watered it all the time, but still, yeah, we might have to repot it if we want to save it, you know, to have, so it has a bigger pot, that it has more water available at once. But yeah, I'm not sure if this is worth the hassle. It's pretty far gone, but we will probably do it just to see if we can save it. I don't have a pot here now, or maybe we could fill this one. No, this is really gone. Oh, this is really annoying. I accidentally knocked a hole into that thing, and I still regret it because now we have one pot less. Okay, yeah, just wanted to show you something again. This one here, I had this one in a video where I removed the tip of the Echinopsis glauca. And yeah, look at it. This is such an amazing plant. From time to time, I just have to show this. Yeah, and I'm not sure where the species fits, like botanically. Echinopsis glauca, look at the size of these insane areoles, like and the ribs. A really impressive kind of plant. I love it. This reminded me a little bit of the Icaro DNA populations, you know. So I just wanted to measure the rib, 4 centimeters. Even more, 4.5 centimeters. 5 centimeters here, just the rib. That is unusual. Ow. 6 centimeters. This is really crazy. This is a pretty big thing. And with only 6 ribs. Yeah, this thing is crazy. And this is not Peruvianus. This is really Glaucus. See the spines here? This is really unique. And this is the type of plant that you got when you bought Echinopsis glauca in the past. This is the kind of plant that you got. Yeah. Really good. There used to be, like, I think Curus had seeds for them for a while. And because of that, there were many plants on eBay Germany. eBay Germany had them for quite, like, they are showing up from time to time, but usually with the wrong label. You know, usually labeled as Peruvianus or something like that, but they are different, you know. You've seen how unique that thing looks like. Just let me compare it, you know, like, have a look at this now, and then I'm putting other one here, this besides it. That's a quite different kind of plant. I like the ones that have the biggest flowers, and some of these bluer ones also have the biggest flowers. Echinopsis glauca has nice, amazingly shaped flowers. It's a rare species that hasn't been used so often, so I like it, you know, because I know you can create an amazing hybrid with it. You can get an amazing flower out of that species. And there are a few more, you know, like Scopolycola has a big flower. Really useful for hybrid breeding. You can easily pollinate them with pollen from other plants, like Lobivia grandiflora, Echinopsis, multi-hybrids, Cantora. You can pollinate them with a lot of different things, and that makes it useful. Makes them good, you know. Like, I really like these columnar cacti. For one, they have a nice body, and the flowers are big. Perfect combination, you know. Yeah, it's a different kind of plant, definitely. Okay, so I wanted to have a look here. This is a fruit from claw that has succeeded. Pollinated with Deserticola, I think. Yeah. So then I wanted to have a look at this one. Yeah, I'm waiting for the first flower to decide if I want to keep it or not. In the future, I will mostly keep the ones that have big flowers. And this one here hasn't flowered yet. I'm currently trying to get everything to flower here, so we can decide which ones we will keep. I've seen this one, and this one was really bad. So it wasn't a loss when I had to cut it back. This one will flower, I think, for the first time. This one will flower for the first time. Really happy about the situation. Oh, we have to cut this back. We have to do that. Today, probably. I consider doing that today. And also probably in the video. This needs to come down because it's been pressing against the window. I retired as a seller. Like I used to be a seed seller, but I didn't have the time. You know, like I had to make a choice between running the channel, actually doing the channel, or selling seeds and that kind of thing. You know, it was always taking the time. Like packing seeds, I had to pack seeds all summer long while this is happening. You know, so I retired, officially retired. And also not selling plants because I don't have like a distribution. I don't have a nursery. I'm just a breeder with a few small greenhouses. But yeah, if there's rare stuff, we will propagate it. We will make sure it's not going, you know, like the stuff that I have. That's why we're taking cuttings now. I'm trying to propagate so we're not losing anything. This one here we will also repot, I think. This is the last flower that will come this year. And when that flower is open, we will pack that thing and repot it. Need to also get like shaken the soil loose when we're getting it out of the pot. But yeah, this one will get a big one, like a mobile, which will something that we can just move, but nothing that is so big that it becomes impossible to carry inside. You know, maybe we're doing a time lapse with it in the future. This one here is Amun-Re, and I moved the plant into the sun just maybe 3 weeks ago, and you instantly see a difference. Like when this plant was in the shade, it looked very badly. Amun-Re, in my opinion, is one of the species that need extreme sunlight to really flower well. So yeah, now I moved it a little, and I still haven't given up on the flowering. It might still change its opinion, you know? But for now, it's not looking so. Not looking good. For now, we are getting one flower on Amun-Re on the other plant. And only one. This one I've been pushing. Tulhuaya, Kansas. Still no flowers. I repotted it last year. Check it out. This is mostly coconut fiber. And yeah, this one did really well in coconut. Also cool plant. Like in regards to the body, really unique kind of body. This one will come into the house for time lapse sometime soon. These will be propagated here. They are in a bad medium, so we will propagate them into something better right away. Yeah, okay. Ow. Check this out. This is Sörensia purpureopilosa. It's a huge plant, and it hasn't flowered yet. I'm so unhappy with it, because it's like, once you have reached these biblical proportions, then you really have to flower. The pot is big. It's a really big kind of plant. And I would love to judge the flower. Want to see it so I can know if I want to keep that huge of a plant, you know? This is blocking a square meter in the greenhouse. Oh, I wanted to show you this. We get a fruit here, I think. And I suspect this was the arboricola hybrid, like Sally arboricola was this one. How do you get them to flower more? I water a lot. I use a greenhouse. You know, like the plants experience the change of the seasons in between, like in between winter. You know, like they get a little frost in winter. They and it reminds them that it's good to flower. They do not get any kind of water in between October and March, and that the fact that you're keeping them dry so long also helps them to flower later. When I start watering in March, then I really open the floodgates. Then they are getting immense amounts of water until the summer. Like I water them like in the beginning twice a week minimum. And yeah, and then around July, August, then I'm done with watering, mostly. I will give them a final watering and fertilizer at the end of the season, but my main watering happens in between March and maybe July, August. When you have the plants outside, they still get the water. You know, it's good when you have plants and you can move them out. And everything that still stays in, they will get water maybe once or twice until like in between August and October, maybe, depending on how hot it is, you know, because the whole climate has changed recently. So now we have the seasons taking longer. Like we have hot days very late in autumn. And in those times, I usually water just to make sure that over winter, like that they don't go into the winter dehydrated. And that can really help to get them to flower. Pushing them with watering, fertilizing. You need a good fertilizer. Full sun, like the combination of full sun and water, usually kicks something off in them and they start flowering. Would you recommend light foliar during winter dormancy? Do you mean like putting a lamp on them to give them light? I mean, having it a little bright might not be a bad thing. You know, like if you have a lamp that just gives them light without heating the room too much, then it might help. You know, like having a lot of light is good even in winter. But yeah, it depends. You know, it really depends how much light they are getting. Usually in the greenhouse here, they are getting so much light that I don't need to do it, that I don't need to bring in additional light. But in general, the more light you can give them, the better. Within limits. Within the limits that in the greenhouse, sometimes in summer, it heats up too much. Like when the heat in the greenhouse is too hot, then that's not... At some point, it becomes dangerous, you know? Like sunlight is great to induce flowering, but at a certain point, it might also damage the plant, you know? Oh, okay. So a small amount of compost, fish emulsion, foliar. Oh, yeah. I mean, in winter, I do not fertilize. In winter, I do not water. So, I mean, you could spray them a little bit, but the more you spray, the more you increase the humidity in the greenhouse, you know? And it can be really good to have a low humidity between the plants. The moment you start spraying them in winter, you can also get skin problems. You know, it's very easy to get skin problems once you're doing anything in winter. I don't think it's that big of a deal because in a greenhouse, you often have humidity in winter. It's hard to get it out completely. But yeah, make sure that it's really something that the plants can take in, that doesn't really cause a layer, like a humid layer, you know, like if you are spraying something that is highly organic, it might keep the soil, might make the soil wet for too long. And you want to avoid exactly that in winter. Personally, I try not to fertilize in winter, not to water in winter. There are situations when you can forget everything because right now the weather changes, the climate changes, and we get really warm days in winter even. I've had in the greenhouse temperatures in winter where, you know, like when the sun comes in and you suddenly have 25, 30 degree in the greenhouse. and then it can make sense to water a little, spray a little, but I try to avoid it. Every humidity that you have can backfire in form of these kind of spots and all. It is really hard when you're growing with a greenhouse to control the humidity, and that is your number one enemy. Especially around the time when you can't easily open the windows, when you can't just let in fresh air, because outside it might be freezing, you know? So yeah, in this greenhouse gets light a few hours later during the day. Like the other greenhouse besides this one here, that greenhouse gets light at least 2 hours earlier in the day. And the plants that are in it start flowering a good month or two earlier. That's how big of an influence the amount of light hours really makes when it's about flowering. So yeah, if you ask me, the more light, the better. So yeah, we will see what we're doing in here, by the way. I want to have a look at the flower, this one. It's still in a small pot. And I actually thought about sorting it out because the flower was so small last year. But this year I want to look at it again. I'm giving it another chance, especially since it's flowering like that. Yeah, then this one, I haven't seen the flower yet. I would love to see the flower. This is Bridgesi. Also hasn't flowered yet. Yeah, some of these here we might use for grafting stocks or something like that. This one here has dropped the flower, unfortunately. Has been quite a disappointment in the last years. Like this plant here, it rarely has like good offspring, healthy offspring, and often drops the fruit. Nothing really that came from it that really convinced me, you know. Might actually sort it out. This is a hybrid between Wurlitz and Legon, and it's really useful. It's really good kind of hybrid. Unique kind of body because it looks so different to the Cantora hybrids and all that. No, this is a hybrid between Zoerensia telegonoidis. Flying Dragon, I have one too. But I'm not sure where. Let me see. Somewhere I have a Flying Dragon. Oh yeah, it's there, and we have to take it out. We have to bring that thing out. Flying Dragon is a really thin plant. Let me try to get it out because I wanted to repot then. Wanted to repot that one. It's in a too small of a pot. Let me see, where's the grabber? Where did I put the grabber again? Oh, here. The most important tool in the household. So let me see if I can get the Flying Dragon out. It's definitely one of the plants that I wanted to repot. Oh, I have real problems with my leg. I can barely walk. Let me see if I can get it out. Probably not. I should have... No, this is not good. Sometimes you place plants in front of each other and it's really hard to get them out again. No, I can't do it like this. I have to do it later with both hands, and then I will try to get it out with a flat. Maybe something for grabbing sausages, for you know, when you are grilling. Maybe I can get it out with this, because this is too big, like to get around the plant. Oh, I wanted to move this one out. So it doesn't drop the flower. When I have pollinated something, my main impulse is to move them out into the rain, to give them the water that the rain has to offer. That makes things so much easier for you. Here's one that was badly sunburned. Needs to stay in the shade now, and it's still flowering, you know, it's not... I think it will recover, but we have to be careful with that. This is the Atrocerois. And yeah, it seems to have huge issues with too much sun. Yeah, Flying Dragon is pretty good. I like it. I have a few hybrids with it. Quite a few, actually. And they are usually pretty good. Like this is one. This is the Flying Dragon Cantora hybrid. Yeah, we are organizing it now. We are taking the time to do it right this year. Have a lot of stuff that we need to go through because we will sort out a lot. But yeah, it's getting better. The coconut fiber is really a great alternative medium, and I have high hopes with that. This one, by the way, this is the medium that we used last year. Just wanted to show you that how organic it is. Repotted this plant because it was dehydrated, and it instantly turned around. Like hydration, this is a really good medium for hydration. Has also popped here. So let me see what this is. Okay. So, and this is going to be one of the next grafting stocks. We will do a video sometime soon where we are grafting them. These are really good as grafting stocks if they are healthy. These are medium healthy, probably rather not, but they are hardy. So I think we might still be able to do it. And we will graft a little pup on them. Maybe an Echinopsis pup, maybe Lobivia, something like that, you know? Taking them out, potting them up separately into one of these pots each, and then we will graft them. Okay. I have not. It has filtered this out, but I haven't. I'm not really looking videos of any kind of, you know, stuff with where something happens with a cactus. I've had my own fair share of accidents with cacti, and it's been pretty uncomfortable, you know. I know how it is. I know how painful it is when you fall on a cactus or something like that. I don't want to have it, you know. I don't want to look at it. So this one of the Hildewinteras that I potted up this week. And in the beginning, we have to be careful that it doesn't fall out of the pot. I have to put something as counterweight on top of it before we can hang it in the greenhouse. But yeah, it will stay like this over summer, and then hopefully by the end of the summer we can hang it in the center of the greenhouse. So yeah. So let me get a scissor, and then we're cutting a little bit of the nettles here because these are really annoying. Got to get rid of the greenery, the nettles everywhere. Long term, I would probably even the area out a little bit, you know, so I have a clean workspace where it's not everything full of weeds. But it's kind of hard when you're living in that kind of environment to have, like, you know, to keep the weeds away. So just trying to get rid of these. There was a spider living there. I don't want to make the spider homeless, so I do something else instead, like this one. I always look if something is living on it. If something is living on it, I let it stand. I don't want the spider or whatever is living on it to be homeless suddenly, just because I take them away, you know? Okay, these here we have to take off. This is a good cactus that needs to be repotted. I want to take this one out of the medium, but it's really grown in. Yeah, but this needs to come into a different medium. I had potted this up in pumice, and it did do poorly with it. Like, it felt like the medium just is too big. Like, the particle size is too big. There's a certain particle size that you just have to have, like in regards to how small it is, because the little roots need to be able to grow into it. And this is pretty big. So we will take this one out. This will go also in coconut fiber, pure coconut fiber, nothing else. And we will remove these because the main plant has some problems. You see this here? I don't like it. This needs to be like over winter. I realized this plant doesn't like the medium. Doesn't like the medium, doesn't like the pot. I want to pot this a little deeper. Maybe like this, so I can straighten it out. So I can really have it in the pot, perfectly molded. Yeah, and we will do that in the next days. I just need a bigger pot for this. And then we're potting this one up separately. And this one too, this is Echinopsis toralapana. Move this. Let's also get rid of that. Oh, there's spiders everywhere. So yeah, this one here, this is a good plant. Looks really nice, healthy cactus. But it needs to be in a different type of pot. Same here. These are basically similar plants. That's why I put them together. Both a little bit Echinopsis-like, and both hated the medium. Good. Then this one here we're cutting off. Boop. Oh no, there's a spider web. And this here. This is a hybrid called Goldrose. This needs full sun. We're putting that in the greenhouse in full sun. There are certain plants that you just have to have on a shelf, and Goldrose is one of them. Like putting it down on the floor, it's really difficult with that. It instantly gets these kind of humidity spots for one, and also doesn't start to flower as much as it should. So yeah, we will put that on the shelf too later. Maybe we should repot that thing here. Yeah, and later this is the other one that we repotted. Now in coconut fiber, and this will go in full sun too. I have a lot of ants in the greenhouse from time to time. They're real pain, you know. Like ants love to steal seeds from time to time, opening up fruit. Oh yeah, we're taking off this one. Let's take this off. That's a good idea. So we can have a look at that. This goes into the yellow, like the recycling trash. Okay, so want to take this one off. This is Lamprochlora. Cerenzia lamprochlora. Okay, so we will, and this was a winter fruit that has ripened over the whole winter. So now we're taking it off. A second. Okay, this is good. This is the way I wanted it. You usually try to cut it off at the base of the fruit. What's that? This looks nasty. This plant, this fruit has been on the plant since last year, like last summer. End of summer. This one was a winter fruit. Yeah, and this one here will dry up. This is the base of the fruit. So remove this one really good. This was okay. So now we will have a look what's going on inside there. This looks a little weird. Move it on the desk. Holy moly, what's going on here? I haven't seen this before. This is weird. This is really weird. Let me inspect that. Is there even fruit material in there? This looks like maybe sometimes you have a pop that turns into a fruit. Can't see any kind of seed. What's this? This is really weird. You have absolutely no fruit material in there. This is just what this could be, by the way. Earlier in this live stream, I talked about it. Sometimes when the heat is too much, the plants do not manage to throw off the fruit. Like you have pollinated the flower, and the pollination failed, and the flower should actually fall off, but due to the heat, they don't manage to do that. And this could be one of those, because it doesn't have any kind of seed in there. It's completely empty, apart from rot. Really unusual kind of rot. Nothing that you usually see in a cactus fruit. This is quite rare. First one I've seen. The fruit was weirdly shaped too. I'm unhappy. I wanted to have seeds of Lamprochlora. Let's do one last cut to make sure. Yeah, there's nothing. What's that? No, this is also nothing. Not one seed. What a waste of time, you know. And then when you have something like that ripens over winter, then the plant often doesn't flower the next year because it's busy growing that thing, you know. So now we have basically wasted the new season for keeping the winter fruit on that was completely empty. I hate winter fruit. I really hate it. In winter, the plants shouldn't be growing fruit. It's just that simple. And very often when it happens, they kind of lose the energy at some point. They run out of energy. So, but there's another one here. Check it out. I want to take this one down too. Let me see if we can do it like this. No, we have to use a little fruit cutter. So yeah, and in the next couple weeks, or maybe couple months, we will clean up here. Repotting a few. Oh no, it fell. It fell down. Okay. Oh, this is my. Of course, it fell down into a hole. This is my muscle problems. Like when I'm trying to not drop something, I drop it. Almost had it. Where is it? Now I need to go down there. I can't feel it. It's gone. Oh, come on. What is this? I'm not taking it. I'm not taking it. Where is it? Oh, come on. Where is it? It's gone. Fell into another dimension. Oh, this is unbelievable. It's gone. No idea where it went. Let me get the grabber. Now we're investigating. I want that fruit. I'm not giving up. I'm not giving up. Where's the grabber again? So the plant that I have above is Orange California, and I wanted to take that one out anyways. I want to pot it up because Orange California is such an impressive kind of plant. Last year I was a little overwhelmed with it. Had to prune back a big plant, and didn't know what to do with the many cuttings that I had, you know. So here I have one. So. Gotta be kidding me. It's gone. Ooh. Maybe something pulled it under the. It's unbelievable. It's gone. It's gone. It's gone. I can't believe it. I don't know where it is. So we've been robbed. Either that or it fell down somewhere below. Yeah, and this is Orange, California here. Let me move this one back. So let's put this again. I'm losing patience. I'm about to really lose it here. Now it's nice. Everything is crooked here. There are times when I'm really losing it here because everything is so crooked. I need to straighten out the area, but I need a little bit stuff, you know, like gravel, that kind of stuff. But this is the price here. Everything that I'm gardening is on crooked terrain. Nothing is straight. When I built my greenhouse, it took me a year per greenhouse to just have a straight workplace. So yeah. Now it's a little better. Okay, good. Now we have Orange, California here. I want to put that somewhere in a pot, maybe. Let's see where we put it. Yeah, let's put it in here. I will root these separately. Maybe I'm taking them apart because they're so hard to handle. This thing is wobbling around into all kinds of directions here. But I consider repotting them, maybe singling out one or two of them. Yeah, I think we're taking one or two off to make it a little bit easier to handle. I definitely want to leave one on. Yeah, in Orange, California, really nice flower, very similar to Flying Saucer, but also different. You can really see the different flower. There's a hybrid called Volta Lake that I have with it, and it's so amazing. You know, like you can get really good offspring with Orange, California. I once again bothered a spider. I will just leave it the way it is now so the spider can look for a new home. It's really difficult when you don't like to disturb the little insects and all. Trying to garden around them here. So I wanted to have a look at this one. This one had a yellow flower, I think, and had a lot of skin problems. So I considered sort it out because of the skin problems and because the flower is only yellow. And not really yellow, like big yellow, but small yellow. Yeah, we are moving that to the other part of the garden. Potential plants that I'm sorting out. Like plants that I'm potentially sorting out. Okay. Put it here. And then I wanted to show you something. Wanted to have a look at this one. This is the Hilde Winterer hybrid, where I filmed the time lapse. And I just wanted to show you how like when the pollination was a success, the ovum looks like this in this color, and when it failed, it's red. Like it has kind of lost the color now, but in the beginning, in the first day, you could already see the difference between the successfully pollinated ovum, like the flower, and the one where the pollination had failed. They were all red. Like everything that was not successfully pollinated had a red color. Yeah, this is nice. Pollinated 3 flowers. Hopefully we will get something good. Yeah, and then I wanted to have a look at this one. This is Deserticola, and this plant has just been not straight. I moved it into the house to do time-lapse with it, and that didn't go well. The plant's just not perfectly straight, and eventually it also dropped another flower that it had. When you're moving a plant around, let's say to do a time-lapse, it can happen that they are just dropping the other flowers that they have, because that kind of brings them into a different environment right away. So yeah, but I used this as a fodder, and I pollinated a lot of flowers with it. Wanted to show you this one again. This is the Arboricola. These have taken. This one has taken. Quite happy with it. I suspect one of them was the Arboricola hybrid. The other one was Deserticola. Oh, then I wanted to have a look at this. Oh, no, no, no. You're not doing that. You're definitely not going to do that, my friend. Come on. Nope. Nope, nope, nope. Come on. Come down, please. Where is it? Where is it? I don't wanted to just climb up again. I always leave the snails, and I leave them alone, but I don't want them at the plant, you know? This was already pretty close. This is Bamboy, and I'm still not sure if it will flower again. Bamboy has an amazing flower, and right now it has 3 fruit, but it was so hot that it might as well drop them. They haven't developed in a while. Nothing on this plant has developed. Even the fruits are looking smallish. Okay, yeah, but we're still in the game here. Still have some chances. This is the second year that hybrid has flowered. First year, the first flower, it got 1 flower in the year. And now this year it has a few, like I think 4 or 5. And then it has 2 more flower buds that we might get later. So that's great. Oh, then I wanted to show you this one. I'm not sure what to do. This is Arboricola crossed with Zelly. And I haven't seen this flower yet. Like this one I've seen. This one I know. But this one I haven't seen. So I could do time-lapse with it. Just taking the cherries out of the pot here. In case I need to move it in. I don't want to have insects crawling out of it. But yeah, with this one, I consider to move it in and do a time-lapse sometime soon. Just gotta... Wait. So this one I will put on the stairs in case I want to bring it in. I always put the plants that are coming in the house somewhere in between, to give the insects, to give the slugs and snails a chance to leave this train before it goes into my house. Because when that happens, and you get sometimes you can have a roach crawling out of a pot. That could happen theoretically, you know. So yeah, it's good to let them know, okay, something is changing, that it doesn't happen in my house. So yeah, this one here I want to film, want to do time-lapse with. This one here is ragged, pink stripes. And this is a hybrid with Volta Lake, Salamar, and Arboricola. And this one, Telegona hybrid, Sörensia Telegona. I think from Michelle Killen, but I'm not entirely sure. We have to wait and see how the flower will come out. I think it could be a Betty Boom hybrid that I got from Michelle, like that I've grown from seeds. So we will have a look at that later. Also, like everything that I have here, these 3, and this one here, or maybe both together, because they might actually open together. You could, for example, I could put this plant here, right in center here. You know, like this. When the other flower is here, maybe, then I could zoom in, with the time lapse from this angle. So yeah, that is the plan right now. Definitely doing, I don't know. at least 2 different ones, I think. I can combine some of them into one, but I might want to focus on pink stripes with the ragged flower. That is a really unique kind of flower. And the clone one of the cactus breeders from the German Echinopsis work group, they they propagate the clones very often. And one of the propagated pink stripes clones had ragged flowers. And that one, has been propagated then later. And now I have one too. And this is the first time that it's flowering. So ragged pink stripes. And that could be great. We'll definitely do a time lapse just with that one, like a dedicated one just with that. And with the others, we would see. Maybe we're combining them into one. Maybe we're doing 2 separate ones. Because it could be that there's still a delay in the way they open up. Right now, they all have roughly a similar age, like size in regards to the development, but sometimes you have plants that realize the weather's wrong, then they delay a little bit. They have their inner clock that is perfectly tuned in to flower at the right time in nature. They are usually perfectly synchronized with their environment, with the pollinators that live around them. So it's kind of hard to predict sometimes, having them together. They look like they might open all at the same time, but I've been wrong about that before. So we will see. Yeah, okay. These are the beans that we have planted on the live stream. I'm a beans breeder, successful beans millionaire. Check out the discoloration here. I strongly suspect spider mites here. I really strongly suspect spider mites with this kind of pattern. I haven't seen them, but it's something that I've seen on all of them at the same time. So maybe I'm moving them into the rain a little bit. Oh, by the way, look at this. I wasn't aware that they are so creeping. I haven't grown beans before. Yeah, let's put it here maybe. We should probably be staking them, right? I mean, I just wanted to plant them. I didn't even want to have any kind of harvest or something like that. I was already happy to grow them. Yeah, we would see. I will leave them in the rain because I think this is spider mites. When you have these little, when the leaves are losing color, very often spider mites are the answer. Like with cacti, they are not really that big of a deal. But with something like this, I can see that. The moment these will be in the rain, the spider mites will not be a problem anymore. They just don't do well with the outside climate. Okay, yeah. Oh, one more thing. I wanted to show you this. This one, pollination successful. This is Wörlitz cantora. This is the one from the time lapse, by the way, the purple one. And yeah, got a little bit sunburned too, but it's okay. Then I wanted to show you this one. Hybrid by Uwe Kahle. Here's the label. Wörlitz crossed with Charm, Flying Saucer, and Cantora Yellow. And successful pollination. Pollinated with Deserticola. Then here, this is Betsy crossed with Apricot Glow. Unfortunately, white flower. Yeah. There's another plant from this cross that is also flowering this year. And if that one is white too, I suspect the whole cross is white. This one here. Successful, I think with Deserticola too. This one successful. Flying Saucer successful. With Glaucus, by the way. Echinopsis glauca. Then this one, this was the one with the amazing color. Very colorful plant, like glowing flowers. This one has 2 fruits again. This is Huaratsensis grandiflora by Miss Plant. This is a hybrid that flowered for the first time, I think by Ingo Bartels, and it instantly grew a fruit with Deserticola. I'm very happy. Oh, we need to move that out of the rain. We need to move that one out of the rain. Something's going on with this, with the base here. Check this out. This is not okay. What's going on there? Oh, but this is old. This is already dry. Something had happened to the grafting stock here at some point. But it's already dry again. But it can't stay in the rain then. Yeah, this is bad. At some point you might have to take this one down from the grafting stock. This is Mamacita. Hilde Winterer hybrid Mamacita, or Acacia hybrid Mamacita, Acacia echinopsis hybrid. And yeah, this needs to come out of the rain. Needs to be under a roof. Otherwise, that thing will become infected. Let me move that over there. Okay. Ow, 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 ow. Yeah, okay. Yeah. I think the stock is okay, but this can turn ugly easily. You don't see what's going on in there. And in order to clean it up, you would have to remove a large part of the stock. And in this case, it becomes a stability issue. When you're removing this, you would have to remove this part here to open this up. Then you are creating a wound that might heal or might not heal. So yeah, this is a problem. Because in the greenhouse, at some point, you have to water it. You have to water it, you have to fertilize it. And this will always be a weakness. So what I could do, for example, I could make a cut here and use this base for propagation, for just harvesting pups. Check out this here. This was a grafted rib, and just a little tiny rib that was originally grafted here. All of this just from this tiny piece of a rib. Yeah, and when we are leaving something behind, when we're cutting it here, then it becomes a lot more manageable. You can move that thing easier around. You can put it on a top shelf. On a top shelf, this wound will dry up more, like faster, more reliably. Because if you put that on the floor, then this is close to the humidity. This can backfire. At one point, suddenly you will realize the infection has come back. And that will be the end. Then you have to remove it, and at that point the infection might have already spread. So yeah, in order to avoid that, I would propose we are taking off this piece here sometime soon and rooting that one separately, and we will leave the rest on it, and the rest will pop again. As long as the base here doesn't start to rot. This will be amazing for throwing new pups. If something happens, you are not losing the whole plant. You have taken it off before it had any chance to spread. Yeah, and that is the plan for this. Unfortunately, because it's nice and growing, you know, it's not bad. It's just that it will always be a big liability. Yeah, okay. Yeah, it looks like there could be some sort of insect life in there. Sometimes you have a little cave and it's full of life. Okay, yeah, I think we're done. This one hasn't flowered. Like, this one hasn't grown a fruit. I mean, it has flowered, had two flowers, but both dropped. So I will leave it in the shade. Maybe we're getting another chance. Okay, yeah, I think this is enough for today's live stream. Done a little longer than I actually thought I would. but we just done a lot of interesting stuff. Hope you liked it, guys. Hope you like the channel right now. I'm really proud of what I do, like with the time-lapse videos. Social media is appreciating it. They have started to show my stuff. And that is something that hasn't happened in quite some time. Like, especially, like Facebook. It took a while until they really started to show my stuff in a way that has a chance to go viral, because these videos, they are great. They have the same kind of quality, in my opinion, even way more than the stuff that they are showing. Like, they are showing AI flowers. Why not show the real deal, So thank you, guys. I appreciate it. Hope you have a great day today, and I will be back again tomorrow. We'll be filming today. The heat is gone. And yeah, I'm back at filming time-lapse and filming outside. So thank you, guys. Wishing you the best for today. Wishing you a great day, and I will be back again tomorrow. Thank you for having been here again with me today. I appreciate it. Thank you.